Hello, my name is Nick, and this is a quick testimony video. So, growing up, I would go to church kind of off and on, never a consistent thing, and so I really never knew what it meant to have a relationship with God. Part of the reason for my family being inconsistent with church was that my mom was a believer and my dad was not. So, that caused some conflicts and troubles with certain things. Eventually, when I was in about the 6th or 7th grade, my parents ended up getting divorced, and that impacted me heavily for many, many years. When I got into high school and around that time, I decided to put a lot of my time and focus into playing sports, specifically football, and trying to find my approval and identity in that rather than in anything else. Eventually, I just got so burnt out and tired of everything and trying to please others with my athletic performance that I quit football and just stopped doing basically everything else. I was depressed in this time. I would sit in my room every single day, play video games, not do any homework. That was my life for probably about 2 to 3 years when I was in high school. And so it got better towards the end, and luckily I had friends that I could hang out with, and we could take my mind off of those hard things. But I later realized that my friends were not the best influences or people to be around, because they started smoking and drinking and partying and making not good decisions. So eventually graduating high school and realizing that about my friends, and that they were doing those things and or going off to college somewhere else where I wasn't really going to see them, I realized that I needed to make a big change in my life. So having that kind of past of church growing up a little bit, I decided to go back to church and go to a young adults night kind of service. So first time I went, this guy came up to me, asked if he could pray for me, and I wasn't going to tell him no because I didn't want to seem like that weird dude who just showed up and is going to like deny people for coming up to pray for him. So I was like, yeah, of course. And so he laid his hand on me and started praying for me, and basically everything he said, it seemed like he knew my life. I had never met him before, but it seemed like he knew everything that I was going through. And I thought, this is wild. Like, I don't know what this is, what's happening, but I want whatever this is, whatever this feeling is, whatever this place is. Like, I want to be part of that. And so the crazy thing is actually that I never saw that guy again at church after that night. He was friends with some of my church friends, and so I saw him outside, but I never saw him again in a service at church after that. So that later on, realizing that was just another thing that hit me of like, wow, that was crazy. Like, God's timing and intentionality with things is just something that we will never understand. But so as I've grown in my faith a little bit, it's led me to better understand how important a personal relationship with God is. And I think that's something that people who attend church consistently don't always realize. They think it's okay to just go to church and receive from the message on the weekends. But I believe the real most important thing is to have a real personal relationship with God.